Hey everyone, Brian here with Guitars, Whiskey, and Golf. Don't forget to subscribe, really appreciate it. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different on my channel and talk about 3 whiskeys that I'm not going to be rebuying. It doesn't mean that they're terrible. It just means that I feel that there are a lot of whiskeys out there that are far superior and have a similar price point. So if there are products out there that are far superior and are similar in price, why buy these? So let's jump right into it. First, Jim Beam Old Tub. Old Tub is actually the legacy name of Jim Beam Bourbon. And honestly, I just don't think Jim Beam is doing their legacy any service, basically, by putting out this version of Old Tub. This is a bottled in bond bourbon. So, it's aged at least 4 years. It's 100 proof. So, it should be decent, right? But Old Tub, unfortunately, is very harsh. It's rough around the edges, really, really unrefined. You can get by using this in cocktails, but I always am on the lookout for good value bourbons or ryes that I can not only use in cocktails, but that I can sip neat. I don't really want something that I have to just bury in a cocktail. It has to be at least pretty decent to be able to sip neat, for me to really want to chase that bottle and go after that bottle. Old Tub, really, really harsh around the edges. Nothing refined about it at all. It doesn't really bring interesting layered flavors. It's really just kind of hot garbage, to be honest with you. So Old Tub, that's out. So what am I buying instead of Old Tub? Well, the old standby, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, blows Old Tub away. Wild Turkey 101. If you like a spicier bourbon, Wild Turkey 101 blows Old Tub away because this brings a lot of the heat and flavor, but it's more refined. A lot of the spice and the flavor components from Wild Turkey come from the barrel char. I think Wild Turkey uses like a number 4 char on the barrel, and it's because of that it brings a lot of barrel char flavor, and it's way superior to Old Tub. Early Times Bottled in Bond, again, a very inexpensive bourbon, but far better than Old Tub. So, there's 3. And by the way, I would also throw in Old Granddad Bonded. So if you're looking for, because Old Tub is a bottled in bond, to make a fair comparison, Old Granddad Bonded, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond, and as I said, the Early Times Bottled in Bond, all far superior products. So Old Tub is out for me. It's in that mid-20s range, but so is Wild Turkey 101, Evan Williams Bottled in Bond. As I said, the Early Times, the Wild Turkey 101, they're all similarly priced and far better. So Old Tub, goodbye. All right, so enough said about Old Tub. The next one, this one might be a little bit controversial. Green River Wheated Bourbon. This has gotten a lot of positive feedback on YouTube. And, that just goes to show you that everybody's palate is different. Just because I don't think Old Tub is good and I'm not going to be buying it again, doesn't mean that you're not going to think it's good. You may like it, and that's perfectly fine. That's why we're all in this game. Our tastes are all very different. But Green River Wheated Bourbon, again, priced in the mid-30s. To me, it's just screams young. It's not very refined. I personally have found that wheated bourbons need to age. Wheated bourbons are supposed to be softer and sweeter, and I don't personally find that young wheated bourbons are that way. I personally find that a wheated bourbon needs to get into that 6-year range to start really having refined beautiful, sweet flavors. So for me, Green River weeded, even though it's, 35 bucks or so, to me, it's out. And the reason it's out for me is because you've got Bardstown bottled in bond, and this is their weeded bourbon. The mash bill on this is 68% corn, 28%, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. So this is a weeded bourbon. Now, how much is this? Well, I just picked this up at Total Wine and More for $41. So 35, and I'm not enjoying that, to $41 for this Bardstown weeded bourbon 6-year-old. To me, this is a far, far better value, even though it's a slightly higher price point. It's not so far out of the price point that the Green River's at to make it an unfair comparison. So for me, if I'm gonna reach for a weeded bourbon in that high 30s range, like low 40s range, it's going to be Bardstown's new Origin Series weeded bourbon, because this is really, really, really good. So Green River is out for me. So lastly, but not least, Tin Cup Rye. Tin Cup Rye, again, this is MGP rye, which in general are going to be very good ryes. But here's the problem. First of all, it's watered down to 90 proof, and it's young. It's 3 years old. In my opinion, it's not enjoyable to drink. I have some in my glass here. It's, it's not horrible, but it's just not something that I'm going to be reaching for. Yes, you can work it into cocktails, no problem. But as I said, I'm always looking for bourbons and ryes that I can sip neat and use for cocktails. I don't want to pour crap into my cocktail, because that's going to make my cocktail not taste that great. And I personally love making cocktails, so Tin Cup is out for me. But what can you substitute in? Rittenhouse Rye. This blows Tin Cup away. Rittenhouse Rye, bottled in bond, 100 proof, has all these smoky, spicy notes. It's not spice in terms of like super hot. It's all these like interesting, warm spices, almost like a spiced rum. Rittenhouse Rye, guys, 25 to 28 bucks, something like that. This is really good. I've been sipping this neat, making cocktails out of it. It's fantastic. So Rittenhouse Rye blows Tin Cup Rye away. High West Double Rye. Again, another really good option that is far superior to Tin Cup. And then Sazerac Rye. Also way, way superior. Has more of a bourbon-y kind of flavor note to it because it's really a low rye bourbon. I mean, a low rye rye. It's 51% rye. So, it's a barely legal rye. It has a lot of bourbon type notes to it. So, the thing about Sazerac Rye, though, that you have to be careful about is that this is a $35 bottle of rye. You can walk into some liquor stores and they'll have it like in their allocated section for like $70, $80, $90. Do not pay that kind of price for Sazerac Rye. This is a $35 rye, and at that price, it's a good value rye that is very enjoyable, neat, and also makes really, really nice cocktails, but don't overpay for it. So, with that, I'll wrap it up. Old Tub, no. Green River Weeded, for me, no. And I know a lot of people do like it. Tin Cup Rye, no. There's just too many ryes in that sort of budget category that are far superior. So I hope that helps you spend your bourbon and rye dollars wisely. We've all got budgets. We're all looking for really good whiskeys that don't blow our budget out. And to me, the Tin Cup, the Green River, and the Old Tub are kind of wastes of money because there are a lot of products out there that are far superior. All right, take care, everybody.